Good evening. Tonight we're with Dr. Proskauer, and he's the author of Karmic Therapy, Healing the Split Psyche. How are you tonight, Dr. Proskauer?
Just fine, Brenda, and yourself?
Very good, thank you. And can you tell us, if somebody comes to you and says they have blocked emotions or they can't express themselves, how do you deal with that with karmic therapy?
Yes. This is, of course, a very common complaint. Most people have certain areas where they have trouble experiencing their feelings. For some people, their anger is blocked. For some people, it's sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have parts of their childhood where memory just seems to disappear. There are all kinds of ways in which information and emotion can get blocked. I'll just tell you that for some type of overwhelming traumatic experience is most often the cause.
Really?
And what makes an experience overwhelming? First of all, there's a tremendous amount of sensation involved, physical sensation, emotional shock, and it's more than the organism can handle. For a small child, it takes much less to be overwhelming than for an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for a child, the lack of support, the lack of a supportive person being present to help them deal with a traumatic event is a very important piece of the overwhelm. And then there are some additional things that can shut down the emotions, that can cause children to stuff their feelings because they were just too overwhelming. They just have to shut them down, otherwise they'll be overloaded. And one of those things is that if they're being subjected to physical or sexual abuse, children can be told that they have to shut up about it, that they're not allowed to express their feelings, they're not allowed to tell anybody what happened. Sometimes they're threatened, that if you tell, this terrible thing will happen. If you say anything about this, I'll do the same thing to your sister. Or if you say anything about this, I'll kill you, or I'll kill your whole family. Children get terrorized, and then they're afraid to say anything, and that fear gets translated into often throat constriction, where they're unable to express any emotion or any feeling, and whole areas of memory get blanked out of fear. And often little small details can trigger off that memory, and they wonder where it came from. But there's usually some little detail of something that's just happening to them in the present that suddenly brings back the memory.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, the key factor is lack of emotional support at the time of the trauma. And this is where the therapist comes in. People are not likely to remember very traumatic events by themselves because they're again alone. There's nobody helping them. There's nobody supporting them. So one of the therapist's job is to create a safe environment where people can experience with support whatever pain and trauma they have to go through.
Mm.
And then they can release it, and it no longer binds them down, and they're able to express their feelings after that more freely.
Yeah, right. That's very interesting. Well, I appreciate your time tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome, and I appreciate this opportunity. And in my book, there are many examples of, especially about trauma to children and in past lifetimes, and how they all connect, and how it can be healed.
Yeah, you heal people and get them through that. And let us tell people that your book is available at razorpages.com. And I appreciate your time.
You're most welcome, and I appreciate being able to come in and talk with you tonight.
Yes, thank you.